Hello, everyone, and welcome to the April 10th developers call for Project Jupyter IPython. We're following an agenda on Dropbox paper, so feel free to follow along. I'll drop that link into the chat in just a moment. We will go ahead and get started with some updates on Notebook from Thomas.
Actually, before I get to Notebook, my Dropbox paper seems to be having difficulties at the moment, but just to mention on IPython, I did a quick release of IPython 6.3.1 because something in 6.3.0 broke completions for people. So it's back for the moment in IPython 6.3.1, and we'll try to figure out where we're going with Jedi integration. And then on Notebook, we've got various contributors, including some people who are new to the project, as far as I know, are working on converting Phantom.js tests to Selenium tests. But there's quite a lot of those tests to convert, so if anybody else wants to
Thomas, you there? No, frozen. The icons next to his name are red, so maybe his internet went out. Let's give him a moment to come back. Are there any other updates on Notebook? Doesn't sound like it. Okay, so how about we move on to Jupyter Lab? It looks like there's a release that's coming out today. Jason, do you have anything else that you want to share on that?
Just that we finished the milestone, and this is our first release without Steve, so we're going to follow his very careful instructions, and so that's why I changed it from releasing today to we're planning on working on releasing too. And hopefully we're within a factor of 2 or 3 of how fast and efficient Steve is at doing a release.
Okay. Anything else to discuss on Jupyter Lab? Otherwise, I'm not sure. Jason, is that your note on widgets also? But I do want to give a chance for discussion on anything related to Jupyter Lab before we move on. No. Okay. Jason, is that your note under widgets?
Yep. So I didn't make the meeting last week, but about 10 days ago or so, we released Jupyter Widgets 7.2.0, and we had a number of new contributors, especially from the Widgets workshop in January, which was a huge success. And I posted a link here to the changelog, and I'll be posting the announcement to the mailing list.
Okay, great. And Thomas, are you back?
Yes, sorry, some weird connection issue.
No worries. Do you want to wrap up what you were talking about with Notebook?
How much of what I was saying made it through? I was basically just saying that there's contributors, including some new contributors who I haven't seen before, working on converting Phantom tests to Selenium. But there's still plenty of tests to do. So if anybody's interested in helping with that, there's no shortage of tests to be converted. Just have a look at which ones people are already doing before you tackle one.
Okay. Sounds good. So now we'll move on to updates on Jupyter Hub. Carol, looks like those are your notes.
Sorry, now I'm unmuted. Okay, great. Yeah, we had a busy week with meetings and some other administrative stuff last week, but we are Still working on a lot of new content, and for Jupyter Hub 0.9, Min's been hard at work at that. And we wanted to recognize and thank Eric Sundahl for his contributions that he's been making to the Zero to Jupyter Hub guide, and also with fostering positive community. So he received commit rights for Zero to Jupyter Hub, and we're very pleased that he's working with us, as well as the other community members that are contributing as well. And that is it from my standpoint.
Okay, so now we'll go ahead and open it up to anything that hasn't been covered on the agenda so far. I see some notes under other projects from both Thomas and Jessica. So go ahead, Thomas. Oh, unless he's having connection issues. Connection issues, Thomas, we can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry, it was the connection dropped again. Did somebody ask me something?
Yes, I see that you put a link to something in GitHub, a GitHub issue under other projects miscellaneous. Do you want to talk about that?
Even if it's Marcus Thomas, it's me. I was just referring to one of Silva's issue with PIP. If other people want to pitch in Dropbox paper, it's just missing names, but inverting name, I don't know why.
Okay. Right, gotcha. And then Jessica, you have a note under there about the website. Anything you want to add to that?
No, other than the fact that after this meeting, we'll be discussing future plans for the website. It's probably time to start thinking about what we want to do in the future in terms of like where we want the website to go. And so we are meeting Anna, Tim, I think Gran is also meeting, and I just wanted to mention it to the people community as well. If anyone has any other suggestions or thoughts prior to the meeting. But we will be discussing that at the beginning of the hour.
Okay, sounds good. And also, Matthias, do you want to go ahead and talk about social media, and then we'll go into events and conferences?
Yeah, I just wanted to make people aware that we have people active on the Jupyter Facebook account, and at some point there was a question of should we close the Jupyter Facebook account for various reasons that you can understand. And also we have people that are actually watching our dev meeting videos and asking questions on the Creator Studio channel where you can see all the comments. I can't monitor that all the time. I often forgot. I would like for people to also keep track of that, or if you could find a way to have some regular monitoring, because some questions have been unanswered for months. Like for example, hey, you say that the link to that in the video is in the description under the video. It's not. How do I find this? So yeah, basically better organization of social media. Otherwise. Yes.
Oh, I had a question about YouTube. Is it videos that we've posted, or would?
No. Like the dev meeting. This video will be posted. On sometimes we say, hey, the link to this issue is in the video description. Actually, it's not, because it's automatically posted, and people ask questions. Hey, sometimes I don't hear you. You're speaking about that, and I don't really understand these things. Can you next time be more explicit? And I think it would be nice to make sure when we post something that we have regular replies. It's the same on Facebook. We have a number of active users that come and go, and same thing on Twitter. But anyway,
okay. Now I understand.
It would be good to have a better story around social media.
Right.
Not
the links in general from this meeting. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. That makes sense.
I would be also happy to have the Jupyter account or IPython account on YouTube to favorite or gather videos that other people make about IPython and Jupyter. I think none of us have time to do that.
Is disabling comments on the YouTube channel an option?
I don't think it is.
I mean, I know it's possible.
I don't know how. I already have quite a bit of difficulties to find the comments every time.
Yeah, I wonder
there
if
is a way to see all the new comments, but anyway.
if just removing that as an avenue so that it's not something to monitor might be better.
We may piss off people if we do that, because then they have to ask questions and don't know how. Anyway.
Yeah, it would be one less thing to monitor. And if people have questions, they can come to the various.
Or we should find funding to hire someone to do it.
Yeah, I think we're probably annoying them by not responding for months too. So, you know, we may annoy them by turning off comments. We may annoy them by not responding for months. So,
yeah, personally, I'm of the opinion that there shouldn't be comments on the YouTube website. So
Yeah, I would agree with Min.
we have links
to all the Gitter projects, then people would have recourse, and we wouldn't have to worry about being trolled or abandoning things. I think, you know, you don't go to YouTube to ask thoughtful questions, I don't think. But if we give them a place to go to ask their thoughtful questions, that might be sufficient.
Sure, but then in every video, we need to say, if you have questions, go to this place.
I think
Well,
that's
we
fine.
could, in the intro, say, you know, if you have questions, go to the page on the website that refers to all the different support links.
You could also
Let's
add that
have that in writing somewhere and figure out a solution. We probably won't come up with a solution right now, but it will be good to have a movement from the whole team.
Sounds like the closing script for the call when we sign off should have just a tip on how to do that.
Sounds like
Please
an action
like,
item.
don't comment, and subscribe.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree, Matthias. We should definitely address this. We can chat about what options are, best options are outside of this call. Okay, so anything else?
JupyterCon. The registration should go live tomorrow, hopefully. If you want to post a link that links to the O'Reilly page, O'Reilly have different URLs depending on where you post it to be able to track where people are coming from. So just warning you, if you don't have access to the code, just send me an email and I will give the different one to you. Please have a look at the blog announcement if you can, because my English is not perfect. Far from it, at least.
Yeah, I'll help you with that. I've already opened it up, and we can talk about it if you like.
Yeah, and to make sure all the phrasing, naming, and people that are mentioned are correctly mentioned, that would be great. I probably forgot things, so feel free to leave comment or edit. I might be traveling tomorrow, so I may ask one of you to actually publish it at the right time.
Yeah, I can take care of that.
Thank you. And that's about it. We'll have the final schedule for JupyterCon as soon as possible, but we're still shuffling things around to not have conflict here and there.
Okay, great. So moving on to conferences and workshops in general or for the community, we do have our list of events. Please continue adding to that as you confirm places that you'll be speaking, share that with the community here, and also share any opportunities that you see for call for speakers also in this section. Jason, it looks like you'll be presenting at QCon.ai today
This afternoon.
or tomorrow?
Yeah, this afternoon. It's a short 10-minute talk on Jupyter Lab. And then one of our colleagues, Chakri, here at Bloomberg, will be presenting an hour-long talk tomorrow about use case of using doing neural networks using the notebook and BQplot.
Nice. Okay. Is there any other conferences from the list or anything that you haven't shared so far that anyone would like to highlight or talk about?
ICML has a reproducibility workshop that I have my eye on that's in Stockholm. So the CFP date for the workshop is the 1st of May. I need to put that in. but I will add that.
Okay, great. So now we're getting close to the end of the agenda, just 2 more sections left. If there are any action items that you would like to ask for, or rather just items that you would like to ask for help with, or any tasks that need to be done before next week, please add those to the action items section. And then for the sake of documentation, please update any releases into the releases section. Anything that happened last week, happening this week, or coming in the next week or two, please repeat that into the agenda. And that's the end of the agenda. Is there anything else from anyone before we sign off for the day?
I would just say to look at the link that we're going to put in this video if you need support for anything.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Tim.
Yeah,
Right,
quick heads up
everyone.
as well. Sorry, I was muted earlier. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Not anymore.
It's a Heisen Sylvan.
So we discussed it briefly, your PIP discussion.
It can be heard only when he's not talking.
Let's see.
Now you're muted.
Is this fine now?
Yes.
Great. I don't know what's going on here. Anyways, so we just moved the IPython repository to Jupyter widgets, and so it's now a core project, and we are iterating quickly on it. So yeah, making progress there. We also wanted to announce that we have recruited a new developer at Quantstack who will be mostly working on Project Jupyter and widgets and these projects.
Okay. All right.
And I wanted to show or point out one cool community piece. There is a kernel based on the robot framework. I was actually looking for actual robots that ran stuff. But it's very cool. Very nice place to write tests with Selenium or with Seculi. And it does magical, awesome hacking to embed the reports from the tests with screenshots right into the notebook. It's called Robot Kernel, and it was done in a weekend, and it's awesome. So that's a pretty cool expansion beyond, just classic language kernels. So I hope to get some feedback from him because we made a binder for it, and it's looking pretty good, but no word on that yet.
Okay, great.
Nick, how do I find that? I tried Googling, I couldn't find it.
It's in the chat. If you joined late, I will paste it again.
Oh, robot. Okay. See it.
Yeah. And if you, I can toss my link to my binder up there. No. It's on the branch. And it mostly works up there. Oh, right. I don't have a link to the binder. Mybinder.org. Those are the two that they like. What was that?
I think that was an echo. Yeah.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's early stages. Doesn't have completion or a couple other nice things, but already extremely promising. And the artifact that you get at the end of it is ridiculous. Like I had never thought to embed an entire web page inside of an href that you pop open with JavaScript, and it works in lab. So that might be a vector that we want to look into. JavaScript links are executed, but it's a really cool hack. So maybe not just yet.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that JavaScript links work in lab?
Yes.
Okay, because yeah, there's an ongoing discussion about how inline JavaScript is not working in lab, and people need a solution. So that could help some people.
Wait, I thought we sanitized that.
Try the binder. It worked for me.
So you have a markdown file, or no, an HTML file. What kind of file is it?
It's a notebook.
It's a
and
notebook with an HTML cell.
A notebook with a robot kernel cell that
Yeah.
emits. It's just wrapping IPython, and it emits an ahref JavaScript colon, and then it ABs a whole entire other web page into that link. So like the link is like 30,000 characters long. It's incredible.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we need to think about this more.
Wait,
Yeah.
you're saying the link itself is a data URL with the entire page in it?
It's
No,
more
the
than
link
that.
is
So it's
JavaScript
JavaScript colon window.open source doc A to B, the embedded version of the XML or of the HTML page inside of it, which also has images embedded inside of it as base64 encoded images.
So it's straight running JavaScript.
Yeah. So if you open a window, you have a handle to it, and you can write to that Windows document. So you could just populate the whole thing.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
awesome.
I mean, that's actually it's clever. There's a link length, so different depending on your browser, it might say your link is too long and blow up. But it's clever. It's cool.
It was done for Edge, so he had some other approach apparently. Again, it was a hackathon project, so it doesn't have a lot of history, but net result is beautiful. Really, really quite impressive.
All right. I think on that note, thanks, Nick. I think on that note, we will go ahead and sign off. Good to see everyone. I hope you have a great week.
See you.